I chose the accounting concentration because I think it's a great career path to build upon. There are so many different avenues that you can choose after deciding that you're going to be an accounting concentration, and like everyone says, accounting really is the language of business, so I just really think it sets you up for any job in the accounting, finance, or business world in general. I also chose it because it combines some of my strengths and my favorite things, such as like customer service, communication, leadership, and of course math too.
So I originally was interested because my mom was an accountant, so that was already kind of like in my frame of mind. But then when I took my first 2 accounting courses, I actually really liked them. I really liked math in high school, but I knew I didn't want to go into the STEM field. I knew I wanted to do something in business, so I felt like accounting kind of married like math and business together.
So I actually came into school undecided, but I happened to take a bunch of accounting classes early on, and I feel like the accounting department at BC is probably the strongest in my experience, and the professors I had, a lot of them actually started in the accounting field before they became professors, and during their classes they would talk about their experiences in public accounting or private accounting, and yeah, I just gradually grew more interested the more classes I took and the more professors I met. Yeah, so my biggest piece of advice is for students to consider whether they want to pursue the CPA track. It's not required if you do the concentration, but it is a lot more requirements needed. You need 150 credits, and in order to do that within your 4 years at college, it requires a lot of foresight and planning.
My biggest piece of advice for anyone thinking of starting this concentration would just be start as early as you can, so you have the most time to take as many classes as you can. There's a lot of great electives here, so I feel like the more you get, the better off you'll be. Also, just to take your intro classes really seriously. This is the type of major where everything builds cumulatively. So I think if you really understand what's going on in your intro classes, you'll be really well set up for your harder, more advanced electives.
There's public accounting and private accounting, but most people will opt for public accounting, which just means you're working for an accounting firm and your work is for a client of that firm. Private just means you're accounting for your own company.
Lots of people think that with this concentration you have to go into the Big Four, and that's definitely not the case. You could go into public service firms or you could go into the private sector. Within both of those, there are different fields like auditing, taxation, and then advisory as well. The day-to-day for each of those will look a little bit different, but overall it will include traveling to the office, client sites, working on lots of teams, and always being ready for a challenge. You might want to consider the accounting concentration if your skills include communication, teamwork, leadership, and you're a critical thinker. Accounting has taught me a lot, and there are always going to be challenges within the field. But if you're always up for a challenge, then I think it's a great place to start. The accounting concentration here in CSUM has taught me a lot, and although the classes are really hard, I've gained a lot of valuable knowledge from my professors and those relationships that will last beyond the school too.
I think you might want to consider accounting as a concentration if you're a really detail-oriented person and you're a little bit of a crazy perfectionist. Accounting's really all about regulation and laws and being really fine-tuned in your work.
So I think accounting really can set you up for almost any job in the business world. Accounting also has a lot of different flexibility in terms of where you want to work or types of different jobs within the accounting field. So combining all of that together, I think that accounting really just is a great stepping stone for any job that you could have in the future.